Hello. Hi. Okay. For some reason, my mic was muted. I don't know why it was muted. That was just very weird. Hi, everyone. Okay. That was a thing. Hi, everybody. Hello and welcome. Where's my hat? What did I do with my hat? Why am I bald today? The beacons are lit. Gondor calls for aid. Somewhere around here is my hat. I don't know where it's at. I did not mean for that to rhyme. Okay, it's not there. Of course I unplugged my... Why am I wearing headphones anyway, since I'm not here with anybody? It's just me today. It's just me today, everybody. Hi. Hello. How are you? I don't know what I'm doing. Clearly. Welcome to Fat Dog. I never know what I'm doing. I wing everything. Isn't it clear by now? Haven't you figured that out? Hang on a second. Maybe I left it in another room. Give me a second. Why? Buddy, come here. Come here. Are you the Bishop of Best Boys? Are you the Bishop of Best Boys? Go, go, go. All right, there we are. No moon. He has flu-like symptoms. It is not the Rona. He's already tested negative for that. It is not the Rona. So you're very bald every day, though. Yeah, but most days I wear a hat, and that helps. Typically. Also, this is bright enough. We've already got enough bright colors on. You don't need all of this to add to it. So, you know. Yeah, hope he feels better quick. That's true. So, come here. Come here. Let's do introductions. Come here. Come here. Proper introductions. So, now I'm not alone because I have him. So, ladies and gentlemen of the congregation. That threw you off a little bit. Hi, I'm Richie Roberts. I am your Minister of Science and Technology. What are you doing? Where are you going? Come here. I'm introducing you. Right when we got to you. Come on. This is our Bishop of Best Boys. Tobias J. Bartholomew Dog. Yes. Or Toby. Toby for short. No, come here. Come here. Good boy. Good boy. All right. We got a lot to cover. And if you want to make him happy, that's happiness right there. This is what happiness looks like. Come here. Actually, it's probably what gluttony looks like. Is this gluttony or happiness? You can never tell from the tail. Anyway. You know what you know how to make him fat. You want to plump up the dog. You know how to do it. It's called Super Chat. Anyway. That having been said, the panic has set in. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I have to leave on Thursday. Three days before AWA. I feel like Majora's Mask, like the moon is hanging overhead in the sky. So 3 days before Anime Week in Atlanta, guys. And that's when the first panel is hitting. Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time is the first panel, and that's the voiceover panel. So Thursday at 3:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time is the voiceover panel. That's when it's happening. I'm going to try and move this. Sorry, guys. I know that's a lot of noise. I'm trying to get it done. But that's good. All right, so where are we at on Slime? We have pickups to record. More pickups. These are mostly any missing lines, stuff like that has been recorded. Now it's just re-recording lines that don't quite match up with the animation on screen, and to the point that we don't want to change the animation up too much. We'd rather re-record the dialogue. Oh my god. He farted. It smells terrible. This is why I can't have him with me when I'm trying to stream scary games. If I'm going to record a scary game, he can't be in here. He can't. Imagine me being immersed and really invested in a game that's spooky, scary. Like I'm really immersed in the game. All the tension is building, and I'm like at that point that if one tiny little thing happens, like I'm going to jump out of my skin, and immediately my nasal passages pick up on the smell of a dog fart. All the tension is gone because all I can do is just be like, "Really, buddy? I love you, but really?" I'm not focusing on the game. I'm just trying to plug up my nose. So yeah, it's a good jump scare fart. No, it's not a jump scare fart. I'm taken out of the game. I'm not paying attention to the game. I'm not jumping out of I'm distracted by the dog anus leakage. Just trying to find a funnier way to say that. There wasn't one. Anyway, the smell, the nasty smell that is gas moving through a dog intestine. I don't have a, yeah. Dog farts are the worst, dude. Just a nasty gassy. Yeah. Love you. But what comes out of your butt is just rank, buddy. Just rank. Whew. Dog farts are not jump scares. They're just... Alright. So, on the slime front, yeah, it's going to take a little while. It is what it is. And we will have a scene within the next couple of days ready to go for our slime panel, which our slime bridge panel is going to be Friday. I think Thursday night we have our Abridging 101 panel. Let me quickly confirm all of the panel stuff really quickly again, because I need to reiterate all the panel timelines once again. Just reconfirm. Okay, so voice acting class is 3:30 p.m. this coming Thursday. And then our Abridging 101 is going to be... Okay, let's pin this. Yes. Oh, yeah. Pin that. Fuck yeah. That's going to be at 7:15 p.m. This Thursday. Then our Slime Abridged panel is going to be at 9:15 p.m. on Friday. And then our voice acting light novel panel. The light novel panel is going to be a bunch of fun. I'm going to bring light novels for Slime. We're going to have a bit of fun with that. I figure bring the in-person light novels. I don't think I'm going to be able to get away with bringing Mushoku Tensei. Slime's probably better as far as like reading a light novel goes. Or Spider. That's a good one. Spider's probably safer. Slime and Spider are probably your safer options as far as light novels. So we can pick and choose on those and just have fun with it. That having been said, yeah. And we'll just have like a list of like voices that we can do and just like just run with it. All right. And that will be Sunday at 1:15 in the afternoon. And then once we're done with that, we have no more panels. We are free. We don't have anything to do on Saturday. We're not doing anything. We're probably going to chill, hang out. We might just enjoy the con, or we might go out and do stuff. And the same kind of is for Friday, except for Friday night. So it's kind of whatever. So if you're going to be in the Atlanta area, or you're going to be at AWA, come hang out with us, man. Come check out our panels, stuff like that. You know, good times. Yeah. I hope people show up for our Thursday panels, especially our Abridging 101 panel, because that one's going to be interesting. We're actually going to break down the iconic intro scene of Linesia's speech, her iconic speech from episode 10 of Log Horizon Abridged. We're going to talk about that, what all went into it, how it all got started, the inevitable panic of not knowing how to do it. Like, here's the idea. Okay, how do I do that? And how do I do that in a way that makes sense to our story? And then yada yada. How that all got built. Just the initial panic of it. Just the general overall writing, the editing of it, the sound design for it, and kind of building that scene from concept to script to video to audio to finally to what you guys saw, and then we're just going to show the whole damn episode and let you guys actually, you know, see it from start to finish. We are going to let everybody know, hey guys, it is PG-13. We do have, you know, cursing language, and there is sexual reference and stuff. Like, we're not exactly a family-friendly YouTube channel, but I think you guys know about that. But I wanted to let you guys know what's coming up for Fat Dog. We're gonna play putt putt. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Also, I want to send a big thank you and a big shout out really quickly to Fenris for his support, his monetary donation, and hitting both goals before I could set up the second one, but both goals for my personal channel. So either today or tomorrow, I'm going to be playing a spoopy game very, very soon. We'll let you know very, very soon. Fenris, if you're going to type in chat, you can let me know whether you want me to do the spoopy game today or tomorrow. But I have to play a spoopy game today or tomorrow in complete darkness on whatever the hardest difficulty is, and I will run through a list with you of whatever the spoopy games are. I have to play it completely solo, because if I play with other people, then I won't have any fear. And yeah, I have to play it on the hardest difficulty, absolutely spoopy, completely in the dark. And if it's a game that I have not downloaded, I have to download it. So yeah. And even if I don't want to play it, well, too bad, so sad. I have to play it. So there we are. Yay. Fuck. As for the next big things that I am going to be on my personal channel funding for, I realize that half of my internet issues are probably due to the fact that I have a modem and a router that are like 7 years old. And so that's why internet issues might be a thing. Maybe. We are going to be chaos gremlins. AWA should be delightful. No, you're supposed to be the con mom, Ari. No, no, don't be the chaos gremlin. We already have one. His name is Rick. He doesn't need your help. No. God damn it. I am so upset with you. I feel betrayed. I am the best. You are the wine ant? How dare you? How fucking dare you? Okay, I will talk to you guys after the show. I can't say why, but I am going to need you to all be on your best feed me alcohol behavior. I can't say why. Okay. So, yes. Be on your best feed me alcohol behavior when it's not Thursday. Yeah. Okay. So, that having been said. Yay. Maybe we should do the news thing, which is what I'm here for. Maybe.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now.
That's because I'm not talking to you. I don't know what that was about, but yeah. Alrighty. That having been said, Drunk Richie is not a good time. Buzzed Richie is a good time. Drunk Richie wants to murder everybody. There's a difference. All right. That having been said, let's go ahead and start talking about the news. Oh boy, it was not a good week for RoosterTeeth. Let me tell you that. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about all the things that did not go well for RoosterTeeth this week. Just really quickly, there are five different things that happened for RoosterTeeth. We're going to go back really quickly and kind of cover some stuff. Caden was the thing that we talked about last week with the TLDR unpaid contract work was called the derogatory F word for a homosexual, and then it was shortened to fugs. They were given $100 as a Christmas bonus in 2013, and then longtime members disapproved of that and said why the hell are you getting a bonus? There were 14-hour work days, rush orders for same day or next day videos. Anytime they brought up mistreatment or that making fun of people in content only encourages the community to hate them, they were told it was just a joke and to ignore the comments. Rooster Teeth crunch caused pneumonia, and there was no recovery period on return. They were crunched harder, physically isolated. People even in the company forgot that they worked there. Rooster Teeth never fulfilled their promotion deals. Then it turned into 15-hour work weeks. In 2016, the person came out as trans, and then the transphobia harassment started. Acting manager lied to the company and harassed them. HR did nothing and enabled the harassment. The founders knew and did nothing. They said they were too nice to work at Rooster Teeth, and they should just quit and find somewhere else to work. RT did not properly support medical insurance coverage. And at the end of 2020, position producer/director, their position was producer/director, and they were paid $40K, which is the lowest. The next lowest person was paid $70K or $30K more per year, which is crazy. In 2019, they were forced to move to LA or get laid off. Rooster Teeth said they would cover moving costs, never covered them. COVID forced remote jobs, thus saving their job. Rooster Teeth increased their crunch during COVID. In 2021, they did an anniversary stream event, having life-saving surgery, majority of work stolen by coworker, and blamed production failures on them during medical leave. BRG created to help with representation issues mid-2021. Rooster Teeth said, "We've done enough for the queer community. Pride stream events still mostly hosted by cis or het talents. Mistreatment of minorities and RT ignored. The company is going through a lot right now. Just leave it alone. Unpaid for voiceover work during tenure at RT. May Marigold and Ruby Fairy Tales included. Handful of good people, bad company." That was the gist of it. So that came out and created kind of a snowball effect. Then 1, 2, 3 Twitlongers later, George Whitman dropped a Twitlonger. Then another Twitlonger came out from Ariana Filippini, and another one from Keddy, and then finally voice actor Josh Greeley, who voices Tyrion Kalos in Ruby, posted a tweet, and yeah, we're gonna get into it. We are going to get through the weeds in it, and I'm sorry if this is gonna take a while, guys. Buckle up. This is not exactly the most happy of stuff. I am gonna scroll down and see if there is a TLDR. I will read the TLDR for you guys, but basically, okay, so the TLDR for Jordan Whitman is that, okay, Jordan Whitman posted their Twitlonger recently, and the TLDR from them was showing, hey, I wanted to let you guys know that okay, I'm writing the following statement in case one day I feel the courage to share it. The fact anyone is reading this deeply saddens me because I truly was never sure if I should be open about this or not. I think it's time to be honest. So this is the story of how the show I created was taken away from me. Okay, they're the creator of Nomad of Nowhere. Back during the first episode launch of Nomad of Nowhere, I quit my ultimate dream and had to leave one of the things I love more than anything behind. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, and a lot led to that moment, but I will do my best to be brief and explain why not only Gray Haddock, but also Jordan Swerts and Maggie Tomei were all partially responsible. I know Gray is gone, but this story I feel is worth telling despite that, due to similar events still occurring. Okay, so this is the meat of it. When I pitched Nomad of Nowhere, I was told I may not have a directorial role on the show. I responded that with that's okay so long as I can at least be responsible for the art. This never happened. After my pitch meeting, I was asked to leave so they could all discuss something. I was later told it would be greenlit, and that was that. No contracts were given to me to sign, no new negotiations, nothing. I was later pulled into a meeting with Maggie, who mentioned not to get my head too deep into Nomad until Camp was done. I said okay and did just that. But as Nomad started and I was asked to talk to Jordan, the now director for the show, about my ideas, the meeting was always pushed and was walked around. When work for the show was starting, I was initially excited and waited to dive deep into the world and art. However, this never happened either. It began with not getting an art director for the show, even though I was promised we'd have one before the show started. That's right, this entire show had no art direction. All meetings discussing the show's direction, I was never given the opportunity to be involved with. What made it into the show was all the pre-story work, concept art, and world building I did for free on my own time, i.e., I made an outline for episodes 1 through 12, and those stayed relatively true to what I wrote. Initially, 1 through 24 is a mini-series with the ending for the entire thing being written already. I then began artwork for the show, which is what caused the downward spiral of depression and the realization that some nasty behavior existed. The style I pitched and what was greenlit and why they picked up the show to begin with was thrown out the window. The art calls were now being made by Jordan, who had 0 years of any art direction, education, or experience, and I was shocked to see in the first art review I now had to work in a style that I did not feel comfortable with on my own show and also would hurt the show's production schedule. The first meeting had books laid out on the table, and they were feature film Ghibli art books, as well as Professor Layton from the background and character design. I mentioned this would be impossible if you want this done within the year. And spoiler, they wanted it done in months, and it ended up looking nothing like the reference. They wanted the characters to be more realistic, which led me to stating we wouldn't have time for that kind of animation and would be easier to animate the simple shapes I had in my pitch, as well as be more appealing to the eye if we ever resorted to tweens or used basic rigs, which we ended up doing. Also, remember how Nomad had a hiatus? When I brought these problems forward, I was told a time crunch wouldn't happen, that they would hire more animators on. They didn't. As I began showing discomfort with my show, I had multiple meetings with Gray and Maggie and mentioned if the show looks off-putting, it may affect viewership and may also not be able to help support Genlock. Should Genlock not be able to hit the incredibly high standards you have for it, Nomad could be a 2D's breakthrough. A 2D's breakthrough with a great story and matching art style. I was told not to worry and go back to work as if none of it mattered. I had zero control on anything, and it felt like Okay. Meanwhile, Gray was controlling the budget, casting, writing, directing, everything on Genlock, while also preventing any control I had on Nomad. He was the larger hurdle on decisions like these and had the power to make any change that needed to happen. But before I had a meeting with him, I would notice a smaller meeting with himself, Maggie, and Jordan that would transpire beforehand, each and every time for around 20 to 30 minutes. I had to give a heads up to schedule these meetings, likely discussing and preparing for the meeting I was going to have, knowing what it was about because I had to mention to Maggie why I wanted to talk before it happened. I had multiple meetings with Gray and why I started to stumble with my workload and why I wanted to get out of being just an artist. I was depressed and it was affecting my performance. I felt detached entirely from my creation, and I couldn't force myself to work in the style that I just did not agree with. That was being pushed and effectively was hurting what I hoped the show would be. A bit of a side note about artists as well. We may be flexible, but most of us contain a set of skills in how we approach artwork. The main characters were primarily being done by the other artist, Lauren. There are only 2 of us that did a majority of the artwork, and I had to match their style, which not only takes time, it takes effort and thought, which was hard to do as I just fundamentally disagree with their choices. With the choices the director was pushing and making. So I began to ask to shadow the director to learn or move over to writing for the show instead, but was seriously told, your line quality lately hasn't been up to par, so get better at that and we will consider you taking part in different roles. Now my lines aren't the cleanest, but for the most part they get the job done and aren't messy by industry standard. It was mostly smaller broken pixels, and I began using the pen tool in Photoshop to prevent the ever so slight offness the natural brush had. Something so irrelevant and so small was used against me as to why I couldn't do work in a different field that wasn't even related. Why not just cut my responsibilities like they were doing with others at the time and see if I could be better suited at something else to help production and hire another artist? We clearly weren't getting an art director anyways, which was talked about every meeting. I was stuck and was being gaslit for months like that. basically, I could go on. There's paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. But not only did they take his idea, not let him work on it, just put him as a regular artist, would not let him work on it, did not fund it properly, but like they pushed him to the point that he ended up like hating the work that he created. I'm scrolling down to see if he just eventually said screw it and left. Most of his action, but others were literally promoted and praised. This company clearly hasn't grown and changed for years. I was upset because I wanted to leave with some form of good relationship, but it was gone on the day. Okay. He also posted images on the on a follow-up tweet. He posted a tweet afterwards. Much longer I put in my 2 weeks. Okay, so he did leave. Put in my 2 weeks because after talking with Matt and Bernie, more of it became clear. Okay. Our realization was when I had one of the last meetings with Gray and Maggie. Gray said a few things that bothered me. The first thing being, we only picked your show so others in the company would start pitching. And the second, when I mentioned going to HR, if you went to HR about this, they would just see it as us stealing your show. It was after this conversation, I brought a few friends to HR and they also stood up for some of the issues I had. It took me so long to go because I didn't want to lose my job or be hated for it permanently. I thought they hated me enough for some reason. It helped when I talked to my friends and animators about the issue because most reassured me I wasn't crazy and they saw how they were treating me. So we went to HR and not much happened other than addressing the crunch a little by giving Nomad an extra month of development time. But even that wasn't enough. I then went to Matt's office during his open doors hours and told him everything. I was emotional. I cried and didn't even want to be there. It was genuinely nice because he made it clear that he cared by giving me more time to speak on the issue when my time was up. Then after pulling the leads into a room to discuss, I'm not sure what was said, but after I got very high praises from Spirits for a piece I did, which hadn't happened since the first season of Camp, it wasn't it wasn't long after I put in my 2 weeks because after talking to Matt and Bernie more, it became clear nothing could change. The production was too far along and the same story of his line art isn't great made its way to them. And I knew that because these leads were closer to them as friends. I wouldn't be fully heard anyways. So I put in my 2 weeks with Maggie and immediately saw her and Spirits pour a drink for what I'm guessing was the first ep being finished. Before I left, I had one last meeting with Gray and Maggie where an employee spoke ill of Gray in the open workspace on how I was being treated. I was pulled into his office and when I asked to explain the situation, I was yelled at and told, "You don't get to speak." This is when I fucking had it, honestly. Okay. I knew I was leaving and nothing mattered anymore, so I responded with, "I do get to speak. It is my right and you will listen." I spelled out just what they did, each and everything, and in the end, when I asked if that sounded right, they basically sat in silence and had nothing to say. I was upset because I wanted to leave with some form of good relations, but it was gone. On the day I left, a party was thrown for Nomad of Nowhere airing. I wasn't invited and was quickly rushed out. Before leaving, I had asked to keep my name on the credits and to get it in writing. When I got my document in writing back, it had this wonderful veiled thread at the bottom, which is why I'm looking at this. This document is entered in good faith by RoosterTeeth Productions and will be contingent upon Jordan Whitman not disparaging or promoting in any sense a negative association with the Rooster Teeth brand, including but not limited to the series Nomad of Nowhere or its cast and crew, and any violation will result in further credit on the series Nomad of Nowhere being revoked by Rooster Teeth Productions immediately. It's like, so if you talk shit about the cast and crew, we'll remove your name from the credits. So if I said anything bad that happened to me, my name would be taken off. Keep in mind, this is a one-way signature and not agreed upon by myself. I just asked to have it in writing to keep my name on the show, nothing more. As I was leaving, I offered to keep voicing Preston in Camp as a professional courtesy and for the fans of the show. I liked voicing him and wanted to do it well. It wasn't until I got a call from Miles on the air of the next season that I wouldn't be voicing him anymore. He was nice enough to say that he thought telling me was the right thing to do, and it was clear the ones whose jobs it was wouldn't make the call. It wasn't long after I asked him to lunch to tell my side of the story and what happened. Miles always helped push for Nomad and was someone who was very genuine with why he liked it. I thank him for his help, listening, and his genuine interest in the show. We met for lunch, and I told him everything that happened. He then proposed that we all meet for another lunch and be human beings and try to put these feelings of despair and sadness in the past so we could move forward. When I met him for the next lunch, none of the three came, and I was told that everything that needed to be said had been. It really sucked to hear that. After all of that, they couldn't even be human and explain why with a simple lunch. I was told Gray wanted to come but had a late flight back home and was urged to meet with his family. But I just felt like it was another blanket statement. I didn't know who or what to believe and was disappointed. So, I know Gray is gone, and mostly from his own actions, but others were literally promoted and praised. This company clearly hasn't grown or changed in years since they've shifted things, and this is disappointing to see. It's a giant clique of friends who cast others out who are beneath them. And that's pretty much the end of my time there. Okay, so that's one of a couple more. The next one I definitely read in more detail. This was another animator for Rooster Teeth. Her name... I'm sorry. Did I cut somebody else out? I probably did. Oh, crap. Okay, that's Jordan. Maybe I did. I don't know. Hold on a second. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, Ariana. There she is. Okay. Okay, there's Ariana. Okay, she does have a TLDR. She was hired with the promise of full-time work, and that was a lie. She had lots of crunch and unpaid work. She finally got full-time only to have it taken away and get moved to a contract position. Both her leads left. Got the most incompetent rigging artist in the world to be their new lead. We were told quantity over quality constantly by our manager. Her last rigging friend left. Still doing the lead job despite having a lead. Was told they weren't good enough. She wasn't good enough to be a senior artist. Lead put us at least 3 months behind schedule by lying about his progress. Manager ignored her about their lead. Manager lied to the heads of animation to make them think the lead was doing a great job. Lead eventually left. They gave her the senior position, still doing lead work. She had 2 junior artists. Junior artists are great, but she's still drowning in work. Problems with a creepy outsourcer. Basically, anytime they were given female characters to work on, they were doing lewd things with the female characters. Manager brushed it under the rug and lied to her face. She had to go through HR about the issue. They finally decided to look for a new lead after she gave her 2 weeks notice. She trained him in less than a week. Team is bumped up to 5 for the first time ever. The lack of help, listening, and understanding she got from her manager and leadership is one of the biggest reasons that Ruby Volume 9, the current volume, is delayed. Yes, other projects came up too, but by the time she left, she was told she had approximately a year's worth of assets assigned to her for Volume 9. This was already well into the season, and they were months behind schedule. And so there's a lot of stuff that went on, and they were talking about this is current Ruby, by the way. Like there's a reason why, because I think Volume 9 was supposed to be released a while ago, like beginning of this year, and then it was pushed back to fall, and now it's the beginning of next year. It's a whole thing. It's like, guys, just give your people time. Let them work. Hire more people if you need to. Like, good Lord. And then the last major twit longer is from Ketty. Another animator talking about they came in, and it's just animation nightmares. It's from the animation team, and it's mostly talking about like how shitty it was to work for the company, and it's more or less painting the same picture over and over, like how shitty the company was. And then finally, Josh Greeley, who I've actually met and I've spoken with, and just a great person, just a wonderful person. Josh Greeley put out a tweet saying, continuously disgusted by the appalling news about RoosterTeeth. They have a lot to answer for in their mistreatment of minorities and contract workers. As a queer person, I refuse to reprise my role as Tyrion Callows for a company that thinks belittling BIPOC or LGBTQ is okay. And so Josh has stepped down in his role, or rather in their role, as Tyrion. So there you are. Josh is done with voicing Tyrion in Ruby. They have openly stated that RoosterTeeth is too crazy for Tyrion Callow. And if you know anything about Ruby, Tyrion's pretty effing crazy. That's as far as I want to get into that. The Ruby thing is already kind of if we go too far into that rabbit hole, trust me when I say there's a lot to cover. I could spend way too much time talking about this. I could spend the whole show talking about just the RoosterTeeth fiasco, and it is a fiasco. Like all this behind the scenes nonsense. I'm just glad that I have not been a RoosterTeeth first member for a long time, and they're like, customers are abandoning ship, and to be fair, I think rightly so. It sucks for some of the people in Ruby, the animators, like the people who have been working their butts off and have nothing to do with how this company treats its employees, and how the hardworking employees that have been treated like crap. It's going to suck extra hard for them. And I get it. Like, I get where some of the people are coming from that are like, hey, don't abandon ship because you're just hurting these people who've been victimized even more. But like, also at the same time, I get what the people are saying, where it's like, no, dude, you need to leave because you can't incentivize these assholes anymore. The only way they're going to learn is if you hit them in their wallets. And it sucks. It rightly does. And the people that are saying, hey, don't blame Ruby it's Rooster Teeth's fault. I kind of understand that, but at the same time, I'm also on the side. I am on the side that says, hey, Rooster Teeth and Kruby are not wholly independent from each other. They're not separate. The animation department is kind of separate, but Kruby itself is not separate from Rooster Teeth. There's a lot of overlap there. Some of the voice department is very much connected. They are not wholly separate. Even if a lot of the people that were very much in charge and are responsible and let some of this go are gone, not everybody is gone. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, if Rooster Teeth goes under for this, and if Ruby just vanishes, if Ruby just ends here, I'm not gonna shed a tear. I know it sucks for some people, but at the end of the day, sometimes shitty things have to happen in order for some people to learn a lesson. And I know that's fucked up to say. And I know that for some people, this is a very positive outlet for them. This is a happy outlet. But the company is not the source of positivity. The community can be. So don't let the community die. That's kind of where I'm at on this. The positive aspects of the community. I am aware that there are very negative aspects of the RWBY fandom and the RWBY community. I mean, every community has that. Case in point, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Just all you need to do is look at look at my anime list and the Full Metal Alchemist community on there. As soon as Chainsaw Man came out, immediately downgraded, like as soon downvoted to hell as soon as it came out, because they're like, there can be no other, only Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood can be number one. And I'm like, bro, it's not even that good of a show. Like, it's good, but it's definitely not number one material. Sorry to tell you, but it's not even that good. I'm gonna tell you, for me, it's only top 20. It's not even in my top 10. Just saying. There's better stories out there. It's a good story. It's not as good as you think. Anyway, let's get on to Spooktober stuff. Guys, if you didn't see, Spooktober stuff is happening. We got big Silent Hill news. How many of you guys are fans of Silent Hill? I'm curious. Did anybody watch or play Silent Hill back in the day? Oh, dude, I'm not gonna come up with a top 10. No. We'll be here all fucking day. I start my top 10 because everybody's gonna start listing off their top 10, and then there's gonna be arguments. I'm not doing it. No. No. We'll be here way too long. All right. We're done talking about Rooster Teeth. Everybody can come back now. Everyone can come back. I should probably tweet and post about that. We're done talking about Rooster Teeth. Of course, I have my fucking, in order to type, I have it right in front of the mic. Okay, copy. Oh, gee. Copy video URL. There we go. There we are. Tweet that out. And now I can tweet. No, why are you? Whee! Alrighty. Now we're back. Now we're back. Alright. So, who played Silent Hill? Who plays Silent Hill? And who watched the Silent Hill movies back in the day? Like I watched I played the first one initially, and it was already kind of spooky, but like I never went back and replayed it because I messed up and I apparently missed picking up an item in the hospital, and because of that, I could never beat the last boss. I was supposed to fight the police lady, but I was supposed to like pour some goop on her, and I missed picking up the goop. But you missed the RT news, bro. I was talking about the RT news for like 40 minutes. You can go back and rewatch it. It'll be available in the VOD, bro. But so yeah, because I messed it up on my first run, I never went back and replayed it. I eventually like watched it on YouTube, and I was like, oh, darn. Hi, Nuke. I played the second one, sort of. I don't know if I've ever finished a Silent Hill game. But they announced that they are doing a remake of Silent Hill 2. I don't know, man. I never really was like kind of a fan of Silent Hill. Like how the gameplay mechanics worked in Silent Hill. I was never really like a big fan. Buns is doing Silent Hill 1 for Horror Nights. Never really liked the gameplay mechanics. It's kind of like how I never really liked the original, but I'll get into like the gameplay mechanics for the original Resident Evil and like the camera layout and all that stuff. I didn't really like that stuff for OG horror. For like the old school stuff, wasn't a big fan. But they're doing an updated version of Silent Hill 2. They're doing a remake, re-release, whatever you want to call it. I would say it's probably more akin to a remake. They're also doing the guy that did the Silent Hill movie, which myself and many others have attributed to probably the most faithful adaptation of a video game to a movie, is going to be doing Silent Hill 2. He's going to be doing an adaptation of Silent Hill 2. So kind of interested to hear about that, especially because Silent Hill 2 is more kind of like that internal psychological horror feel. I also kind of like the original Silent Hill just because it was a horror movie that Sean Bean was in and he didn't die. And I was like, okay, so first off, you're telling me there's a movie that Sean Bean was in that he didn't die, and it was a horror movie? What is this craziness? What? But yeah, they released a bunch of interesting info. I just don't. I believe that they did keep the dog ending. For those of you that don't know, Silent Hill has multiple, or at least Silent Hill 2 had multiple endings. I don't remember if Silent Hill 1 did. There's a dog ending and an alien ending too. I don't remember. if one does or not. I honestly, I wasn't overly enthusiastic by that. Silent Hill's fine. They released a trailer for a new Silent Hill called Silent Hill F. Looks like it's taking place in Japan. It's all flower and mushroomy and weird looking. It's kind of a wait and see. I don't know. I had more hope for Silent Hill when they were doing PT and they had Hideo Kojima in the mix. I've been disappointed with Konami for a while, and it's I'm very much kind of apprehensive. This is very much a wait and see. We'll have to see. But then the very next day, Capcom comes out and drops their Resident Evil showcase. They're like, we're not going to be outdone by effing Silent Hill. So at first I was like, all right, Resident Evil, what are y'all showing? They're like, okay, here's Resident Evil 8 Gold Edition, and here's the DLC. If you finished 8, here's the sequel DLC that takes place after. Okay, cool. We're introducing third person mode. Okay. For those of you that didn't play Mercenaries. I didn't play Mercenaries. Okay, you could play as Chris. Don't care. You could play as the machine guy that controls all the Lycans. Don't care. You could play as Big Titty Goth Mommy. You have my attention. I might play Mercenaries because I can play as Lady Domitresk. All right. That kind of got my curiosity there. And you don't have to get the full gold edition. You can just buy the DLC. It comes with all that stuff, and it's not like you don't have to pay full price. You already own the game. You just pick up the DLC for the cheap DLC price. That's nice. Whatever. Cloud versions are coming out for Resident Evil 2 Remake, 3 Remake, 7, and 8. And I think 8 is coming out on Mac. They announced that too. So 2 Remake, 3 Remake, and RE7 are going to be available to play on Switch coming out this month. I think Gold Edition is going to be out in like a few days. Like not far. Outbreak deserves a remake. More than 4. How dare you, Fenris? How fucking dare you? No. You shut your horn mouth. All right. Then we got the stuff we were actually here for. Just quick update. The very first Resident Evil game that I actually touched was on GameCube. Even though the first system I played was Atari, and I am from an older generation of gamers. I did grow up with the original Nintendo and the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation. I didn't see a PlayStation 2 until I was a grown man. But yeah, man. I'm just saying, I didn't play a Resident Evil game until the GameCube was out, but it was Resident Evil 1. And I'm glad that I did, because going back and looking at the graphics for the original Resident Evil and everything compared to the GameCube version that we got, I would not have been afraid of that game. That there would have been no fear. Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, none of that would have given me any kind of fear. Code Veronica, none of that stuff would have given me any kind of fear whatsoever. I would not have been able to take any of that shit seriously. None of that would have, I would have been like, yeah, my character died. None of that would have given me any fear. Also, to everybody that talks shit about the cheesy dialogue that happens in like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, bruh. Play the original. Go try to play ROMs of the originals. Come talk to me about a Jill sandwich. You have not heard cheesy lines until you've gone back to the original Resident Evils. You do not understand what a golden age of writing and voiceover you live in at this moment. Like, holy shit, the terrible dialogue that existed in those early games. But I will tell you right now, in the case of Silent Hill and in the case of Resident Evil, we can debate this all day between psychological horror versus more traditional horror. I lean more towards Resident Evil, in which I prefer. That's just me. But 4, we got some gameplay stuff. I'm really liking it. I very much enjoyed the gameplay. I did not know how much I needed these updates and improvements. Not just like the visual updates, but like the gameplay updates, the quality of updates. It definitely looks not just darker from... It looks darker from like a visual and lighting standpoint, but also darker in like a more serious tone. The jokiness and the cheesiness, like I'm sure there's some cheesy, jokey stuff in there, but like not as much. It definitely feels like we're getting that darker seriousness. It feels like it matches the tone of the Resident Evil 2 remake more. And I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. And I'm happy that they brought the stranger back. If they didn't, I'd have been pissed. You know, people would have boycotted this shit. I like the knife parrying system. That's awesome. Glad that's there. Looks like there's some subtle changes to story, but not too much. Are they going to still have the giant statue robot thing in there? If they've made significant improvements to the enemy AI in just the Ganados, I'm going to tell you right now, the scariest enemies that I encountered in Resi 4. And they don't occur until much, much later. If you know nothing about Resi 4, this is not spoiler, because I'm not going to talk about why they're scary. I'm just going to say that they're scary. Regenerators. Regenerators are scary. If those motherfuckers are still in there, especially once regenerators upgrade to Iron Maidens. Motherfucker. What are those sons of bitches gonna be like? Because I'm not ready for that shit. But I will tell you right now, Resi 4 is the game that I played. Like, it was the first Resident Evil game that I played the most out of all the Resident Evil games. Like, I played that motherfucker on repeat because that game was fun. I mean, fun. Anyway. Man. I am interested. I am looking forward to it. And, It looks like a good time. I don't want to. I do want to have conversations with people, but this is one I was really hoping to have a conversation with other people about. But like waiting on comments and stuff, it's just gonna get ridiculous. So I was not wanting to be by myself to have this conversation. So I'm just gonna be like, I'm really looking forward to Resident Evil 4. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a blast. Yeah. It's gonna be a good time. Good time. That's where I stand on that. That's where I stand at the moment on Resident Evil 4. I am super hype. Perhaps a future Anime Church discussion. Perhaps. That having been said, let's move on to the next topic. Next topic. Oh, boy. All right. As if we don't have enough stuff that's already like kind of like, all right. All right, so Bloomberg is saying that Platinum Games tried to hire Bayonetta voice actress Helena Taylor for about $15,000 US. She said it was $4,000. They're saying it's $15,000. Who are we going to believe here? Bloomberg reported on Tuesday that Platinum Games had tried to hire Bayonetta voice actress for Helena Taylor for at least 5 sessions, each paying $3,000 to $4,000 per 4 hours for voicing the titular character of Bayonetta of the Bayonetta 3 game. This would have added up to a total of about $15,000 according to Bloomberg. Platinum Games stated that Taylor asked for a 6-figure salary number as well as residuals on the game. Platinum declined an audition for a new actor after lengthy negotiations. Finally, Platinum offered Taylor a cameo in the game for the fee of 1 session, which she turned down. Taylor said to Bloomberg that this account was an absolute lie and said Platinum was trying to save their ass in the game. So, as we covered last week, she said that in a tweet that they contacted her wanting her to come in and voice the role and offered her a flat rate of $4,000. So now this is going back and forth between Platinum saying one thing and her saying another. So now everybody's kind of like, who do we believe? But Platinum is not having the best track record lately, and their year has been kind of shitty. And Hideki Kamiya is kind of well known that for just being quick with the ban button on Twitter. If you so much as message him in English just trying to find out what's going on, he'll ban you. So if you don't know how to tweet at him in Japanese, get ready for that ban button. So yeah, well-known voice actress Jennifer Hale is voicing the titular role, and she did put out a tweet on Monday asking everyone to keep in mind that this game has been created by an entire team of hardworking, dedicated people, and hopes that everyone involved may resolve their differences in an amicable and peaceful way. And she can't talk about this, dude, because she is literally in an NDA. She has signed an NDA. She cannot talk about this. So, yeah, she's kind of caught in the middle of this shit, and that's basically it. He farted again. And his ass is pointed right at me, of course. Okay, on to the next topic. Ken Wakui's Tokyo Revengers manga ends in 5 chapters. I know we talked about it being close to ending last week. Well, now we officially have it as 5 chapters left. 5 chapters and Tokyo Revengers is finished. This year's 47th issue of Kodansha's Weekly Shonen Magazine revealed on Wednesday that Ken Wakui's Tokyo Revengers manga will end in 5 chapters if there are no delays. The manga should end on November 16th. The magazine announced last week that the manga was headed toward the climax of its final arc. The manga entered its final arc on June 2021. So there we are. 5 chapters left. What do you guys think about that if you are keeping up with the manga? If you're not, well, I understand. I will say this, Weekly Shonen Magazine, I am at least keeping up with one series in there, and that, of course, is Blue Lock. I have been checking out that series ever since I watched the first two episodes, because I was like, oh shit, this hit different. And I was like, I don't want to sit here and wait on next week. I want to know what the F is going on next. And there's 191 chapters, 192, somewhere around there now. And so I got caught up in about like a week or so, because it took me about that long, because I didn't want to just pour right through and waste an entire day. I had shit to do. I had stuff to get prepared for. So I took my time and went through it, but god damn, is it good. I'm super excited to keep going through it and see where they go. Main character, not my favorite. Gotta be honest. He kind of annoys me, but there's a lot of interesting characters and interesting personalities. There's also a lot of I want to punch a couple of characters in the face kind of characters in there too. So very, very interesting story. Very interesting characters. I think you guys are going to like this show. If you haven't checked it out yet, highly encourage you to check out Blue Lock. As sad as I am to know that Ace of Diamond is ending soon, I'm glad to know that Blue Lock is there to fill that void in Weekly Shonen Magazine. So there we are. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go, guys. Crunchyroll increases monthly price in Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and more territories. Funimation also increases prices as part of creating unified subscription service. Glad I'm no longer paying for Crunchyroll. Or I'm sorry, not Crunchyroll, Funimation. Crunchyroll revealed that it will increase its monthly subscription price on October 31st in several territories across a mix of web and mobile, including Chile, Canada, Austria, Finland, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, Netherlands, Faroe Islands, and Greenland. Some Funimation prices will also change across a mix of web and mobile in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Chile. Also, some Funimation prices will decrease in Brazil, Peru, and Colombia. Crunchyroll and Funimation are adjusting prices in a selection of international markets for some premium plans as part of creating a unified subscription service. Funimation increased prices on August 31st because it is transitioning to a unified subscription service with Crunchyroll. The prices increased from $5.99 per month to $7.99 for premium plan and $7.99 to US $9.99 for premium plus plan. Crunchyroll lowered its monthly subscription price in almost 100 countries and territories in July. Crunchyroll implemented its first major price increase in its history in the United States, Great Britain, Australia, and the Nordics in 2019, and implemented its multi-tier subscription offerings in 2020. All right, so there you go. What do you guys think about that, especially if you live in those particular territories? Okay. Here we are. Nintendo settles with former employee over wrongful dismissal complaint. Nintendo of America and staffing agency Aston Carter have reached a settlement with former quality assurance worker Mackenzie Clifton on Wednesday over an alleged wrongful dismissal. The company settled paying $25,910 US in unpaid wages and damages. Aston Carter will take liability and pay Clifton. As part of the settlement, Nintendo is also required to post a notice for 60 consecutive days, both in email and on-site at its office, informing its QA workers of their rights under the National Labor Relations Act. Nintendo of America made a statement about the settlement. Nintendo is thankful that a resolution was reached in the NLRB matter so that we can continue to focus on ensuring that our working environment remains welcoming and supportive for all our employees and associates. That approach is fundamental to our company values. As part of the public settlement, all parties remain obligated not to disclose Nintendo's confidential business information and trade secrets, which are paramount to our development process and product offerings. Okay. The contracted QA worker, Clifton, filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board, Redmond, Washington, on April 15th, alleging that Nintendo of America fired them in an effort to discourage union activities and/or membership. The complaint accused Nintendo and Aston Carter of concerted activities, discharge, surveillance, and making coercive actions against an employee, interfering with their right to unionize. Within the past 6 months, Nintendo had made a statement that the company dismissed an employee for violating a non-disclosure agreement and was not aware of any attempts to unionize or related activity and intends to cooperate with the investigation conducted by the NLRB. Clifton later filed another NLRB complaint against Nintendo of America in August, alleging that the company fired workers engaged in protected concerted activity, amongst other allegations. Aston Carter is a staffing agency that has recruited customer service and administrative contractors for Nintendo. Nintendo of America recently closed its offices in Redwood City, California, and Toronto, Ontario in November. Kotaku reported that according to its sources, Nintendo's California office closing displaced about 100 employees. No offense, but this is a very, very familiar story. Big company doesn't like unions. No shit. Hi, kids. Can we say Amazon? So I just found that to kind of be interesting. I don't really have a lot to comment on that. It just seems like something a big company would do, and it is Nintendo of America. I don't trust big business. That's just where I'm at. I don't know all the particulars. I just know who I don't trust. That's all I can say on the matter. Just thought it was interesting. Thought I'd bring it up and see what you guys thought about it. And just give you my thoughts and opinions on where I stand. You don't have to share my thoughts and opinions. That's the cool part. I don't require that you do. It's all good. If you want to stand with Nintendo, it's cool. If you want to believe that they're in the right, or if you want to believe that this guy is in the right. If you think that he really was violating a non-disclosure, or if you think they fired him because he was trying to unionize. Either or. It probably could be either of those. I don't know. At this point in time, we're kind of just guessing. But hey, a settlement was reached. That's the news. Yeah. All right. So last but not least, MiHoYo dropped a live stream today. So if you play Genshin Impact, they dropped a live stream for version 3.2, which I think is going to be the final part of this new Archon story, the main Archon story for this new version. So we're going to get Act 3 of the Sumeru Archon story. Interested to see how that goes. I've kind of been digging the Archon story so far, especially the second part. Act 2 is always a good bit. Especially because it's been getting darker and we're getting more and more into kind of the Fatui Harbinger stuff. We've got 2 Fatui Harbingers acting together to kind of fight us. Interested to see where that goes. But the important part is, guys, if you are playing Genshin right now, it's very, very important that I make sure to post this right now. If you are playing Genshin, very important that today, and I do mean today, you go into your Genshin. Let me quickly put this live stream code. Okay, cool. There we go. Saved. You go into the description today. They're only available today. They have a 24-hour lifespan. You go into the stream and you copy those 3 codes and you paste them and redeem them to get your Primo Gems. That's 300 Primos right there. That's easily with your dailies. That's easily 2 wishes right there. Or just, I mean, that's 300 Primos. You might as well save that shit up. Get yourself 300 Primos for free. But yeah, get that stuff going and underway. All right. That's everything I have. I'm sorry this probably wasn't as entertaining as you were expecting. I just it's a lot more, Anime Church is a lot better when I have other people to bounce off of, you know? So maybe next time. There will be no Anime Church next week, guys. We will be away at a convention. We'll be at Anime Week in Atlanta. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks for the next one. Until then, everyone take care. I mean, at least half of you are going to be, I think at least, well, I know 2 of you that are watching right now. And 1 of you that's usually with me are going to be at AWA with me anyway. So Ari, Rick, and our Minister of Arceology are going to be with me. So, yeah, man. That having been said, we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Until then, take care. And then I will be getting with Fenris shortly about when I'm streaming and where I'm streaming. Just keep an eye out on my Discord. If you are not on my Discord, I will share you a link to my Discord. Hold on. Invite people. Yes. Edit link. 7 days. No limit. No. Never. Generate link. Copy. So if you would like to join my Discord, it be there. So yeah, that's when I will stream. I will post it there for when I am streaming my spoopy game that he is going to make me play, because he'll be making me play a spoopy game soon. I just don't know exactly when. He gets to determine when, and he gets to determine what game. But I have to play it on whatever the hardest difficulty is that is available to me, and I have to play it with all the lights out. So there we are. Yay. All right, everybody. You take care. I will see you. Actually, I'll see you tomorrow, because we've still got slime stuff and Anime Church in 2 weeks. And hopefully we'll see some of you in person this weekend. Take care, and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.